The mind of God. I was meditating a few days ago. I got this message about the mind of God. Humanity has been playing the same tapes for thousands of years. Basically the tapes of anger, intolerance towards each other, leads to wars throughout the lands. Basically, humanity has been living in a survival mode of existence. Our mind and body is not in harmony with the universe. We have lost touch of the mind, body, and soul connection. How does the mind of God relate to humans? Can humans just take one grain of sand from the quantum field and transform our thinking? Did you know only you can change how you think? Nobody can do it for you. Just think you can have incredible out-of-this-world meditations, and yet your mind and thoughts haven't progressed on this journey in life. If we truly want to transform, let's take a look at a few attributes of the mind and God. First, God does not judge us. Many people think He does. God gives us free will, so why would He judge us? Humans judge each other. How would the world be if we didn't judge one another? Most of the world's problems would go away. Even if we could just remove judging others, we would be one step closer into uniting a small fragment of the mind of God into our mind. Second, God is not angry. There's not a jealous God. Humans are angry. Humans get jealous with one another. Just think if you could eliminate anger and jealousy in your life. The world around you would be much more peaceful for you and for others. You'll be much closer to having an internal relationship with the divine. God does not hate. Humans hate. God does not take sides. Can we eliminate our negative way of thinking and our negative emotions? Yes, we can. Yes, it does take time and effort. This is the journey we are on. In the last 30 years, so much new discoveries have taken place in the mind-body connection. Scientists have discovered you can't separate the mind and body. They are directly correlated with each other. One must begin to understand ways to create harmony with each other. Just think, most of us never stop and reflect how we can change our state of mind. We don't think we can, or we're too busy living our lives without being aware of our thoughts. The world can't change if we live in a current mindset. Peace on earth can never manifest if we continue with our current state of thinking. The United States is deeply divided. Every day, gasoline is put on the fire, and both sides flame each other. We are immature children. We are throwing mud pies at each other. We need to refine the way we think and act. Sometimes I wonder if we like all this quiet, all this chaos, this exciting, never a dull moment. But being in harmony with the universe is not a dull event. Imagine being part of a star being born. How incredible is that? We have no idea how incredible this world would be if we all lived in harmony. How would you like to see and experience that when you looked at others, you see a reflection of yourself? In that state, there is no separation. If all of us would experience this on a constant moment, this world would truly transform. It's kind of funny. We come from the mind of God. When we die, we return to the mind of God. It's only a flicker in time. Yet, when we are alive, we forget our true existence. It's like we have total amnesia. Our true state of mind is united with God. A part of us never left this state, yet we have forgotten. Ponder over these words. How much do you want to change? Help is all around you. You are never alone. Signposts all around you. Remember, it's only by your free will can you understand this message. The mind of God, 2. Let's continue with the mind of God. I got some great feedback from 2 of my friends. They each had a different point of view on this. I responded with a link to a chapter in my new book, Dragon Tales 2. Personally, I think the entire universe is evolving, including man. Some wise masters have said it might take 1 billion years for a civilization to evolve where they go from me to we. We have a long ways to go, yet the seeds have been planted. I have great hopes for mankind, even in spite of the chaos all around. Remember, what good is an adventure without overcoming obstacles along the way? Humanity is learning. 2 steps forward, 1 step backwards. We learn from our mistakes. Scientists and mystics are both talking about the same thing. Many new technologies are being invented. Just think, in the 70s, a biofeedback machine cost thousands of dollars. Today, you can buy a Muse tube for $240. Personally, when humanity can see the direct correlation between the mind and body and see their results on their mobile devices, exciting times are here. The time of living in the Newtonian model is over. We're about ready to embrace the quantum model, which scientists embraced in the early 1900s. When society learns, they have the capability to change their thoughts and actions for the better. The world will slowly start to transform. This is a practical path that we walk on. We can't look at the past for guidance. Mankind has been playing the same tapes for thousands of years. War, war, and war. Many of my friends think that mankind can't change. I beg to differ on this one. Millions of people are waking up from their slumber. Remember, each one of us is a piece of the puzzle. I'm truly optimistic on man's future. So many people are thinking outside of the box. In the United States, so many people are totally disgusted in the medical system. Drugs have skyrocketed. Serious side effects can happen, including death. We are all looking for a practical solution. My way of thinking is there is a solution to every problem that man created because of our negative state of mind. We can't think outside the box. We only listen to our tapes from the past. We look at the past and see that mankind hasn't changed much in thousands of years. We then project it to the future. Many people think this is total hocus pocus because they can't see the quantum. Many people say, if I can't see it, I can't believe it. Can you see love? Yet it exists. So for many people, the future looks bleak. I see exciting times are here. We are going on a journey from darkness to light. The sun is appearing on the horizon. It's going to be a glorious day. Your body is your drugstore. I love my grandmother Josie. As a kid, she'd always tell my brother John and I that God loves you. We'd always giggle in delight. Even when we got older, we'd always giggle when she said this, usually whenever we saw her. Her mother knew Mary Baker Eddy, the founder of Christian Scientists. I learned at a young age many of them didn't go to doctors. They believed that only God heals. Yes, that is quite controversial, even for today's standards. To be honest, I didn't study Christian Science, yet somehow I hooked into some of these principles. For example, when I was young, I believed in preventive medicine at around 10 years old. My thought process was this is the only body you get, so you better take care of it. Where did I get this thinking at such a young age? During this time, my dad gave my brother and I a series of yoga postures. I remember it was in a brown folder with a string attached. He drew each yoga postures. We did these for years. He said that he learned these from his Air Force days. I discovered later that these were classical yoga postures. Right before he died, he told me that these postures came from a yoga teacher. In the early 60s, he went to USC and found a yoga teacher. To be honest, I wish back then my dad told me the truth. I would have been more amazed with the fact that these exercises came from a yogic path. I was searching for this in my life at 10 years old. Anyway, that was water under the bridge. In high school, we had a series of classes we could take, and one was a yoga class. Well, from that moment on, I was hooked. I got totally involved in the world of meditation at 18 years old. Let's fast forward to the mid-70s. My dear friend Joe Lopez told me about Science of Mind developed by Ernest Holmes. I was fascinated by it, but I still didn't have the emotional development to understand this. I barely understood the theory. Both Christian Science and Science of Mind were on the same wavelength. It's more than halfway through 2019. From 1971 to the present, I've been to the doctor only a few times. When I got the job as a software engineer for the Miami Beach Police Department in 1982, I had to get a checkup. The doctor told me, "I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up." Why am I writing this? I've been meditating for 48 years. Yet, in the last few years, I have finally connected the dots between Christian Science, Science of Mind, and modern-day science. Okay, here goes my understanding. Science has discovered that each thought that you think has a corresponding series of chemicals that get secreted to the body. Our Western society is living in extreme stress conditions. Imagine a negative thought that makes you angry. Over 1,500 stress chemicals are released into your body. Buddha called it drinking your own poison. To be honest, I wasn't truly aware of the consequences. It didn't truly sink in until I did research on the matter. Yet get this, 95% of our actions are governed by our subconscious mind. We are basically playing the same tapes over and over again. Our bodies are constantly being flooded with stress hormones. Not only is that, but our heart is not in harmony with the mind. They are fighting with one another. This is called heart incoherence. When the heart waves are in disharmony, the telemeters in our cells get shorter. When the cells divide, they do an exact copy. Over a period of time, they get shorter and shorter. When they no longer exist, death is slowly approaching. Your cells don't carry the proper information anymore. Yet get this, one can learn to have heart coherence. The human body can regrow the lengths of the telemeters. Think that one over. If you can increase the size of the telemeters, then how long can you live? That is a good question. So, what can we get with this present-day knowledge? Your body is your drugstore. You're constantly taking drugs, whether you know it or not. Your thoughts that you think lead you to disease or a healthy body. We never learned this in school. Did you know that all diseases are caused by our thoughts? Did you know that you can reprogram your thoughts? You have the capability, just like a computer programmer, to reprogram your thoughts. You can monitor your thoughts in each and every moment. Granted, it takes time and effort, yet in the end, the outcome is nothing but miraculous. Just ask the students from Joe Dispenza's seminars. They have healed themselves of all sorts of deadly disease. We were never taught this in school. It wasn't until 5 years ago that this information was leaked. When I came back from India in the early 70s, I went to see our family doctor. My mom wanted me to go for a checkup. I told him I was a vegetarian. As he was smoking his cigar, he told me that I was going to die within 1 year because I was a vegetarian. I told him that there are around 1 billion vegetarians in India. India has been vegetarian for over 5,000 years. My doctor died within a year. Look, I'm not telling you don't see a doctor. I'm saying with the latest science, they clearly demonstrated that in each and every thought, you have about 1,500 positive or stress chemicals gets released into your body. You are your own pharmacy. There's no getting around this. The next time you're flaming someone, think of the consequences. Like the Buddha said, you're drinking your own poison. Modern day science has proven this. I can now take the teachings of Christian science and science of mind and have a much clearer understanding of the mind-body connection. Science for me has been a bridge to bring a more and complete understanding of the mind-body connection. As you can hopefully see, in each and every day, I'm learning more on this journey in life. I like that. How to use the quantum field. Let's look at this common scenario. It's Monday morning. Your alarm clock didn't go off. You're late for work. You stumble out of bed and take a quick shower. You don't have time to go to Starbucks for your morning coffee. You're totally stressed out. You're in a huge traffic jam. You miss a very important meeting. Once again, you get totally stressed out. Things don't go quite as planned. Without your morning coffee, you are on edge. You don't think properly. And you're in a funky mood. Imagine how many Americans this happens to every Monday morning. Did you know that the majority of heart attacks occur on Monday morning? Did you know that the majority of Americans hate their jobs? Let's take a look at the biological aspects of what's occurring. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are running the same tapes over and over again. Did you know that your subconscious is running the show? Scientists say that 95% of our actions are driven by our subconscious. Only 5% is conscious. Imagine your body and mind is fused together. Scientists say they are almost one and the same. You can't separate the one from the other. We are playing old tapes. A day like today is not uncommon for most Americans. When you wake up and realize you're late for work, your mind-body connection is totally stressed. You think, oh my God, I'm late for work. My boss is going to get pissed off. Just the mere thought of being late, over 1,500 stress chemicals are being released into your body. This is how you set your day. Automatically, you can't think properly, and you're in a negative emotional state. This state carries you throughout the day. You come back from work, and your lovely wife says something to you. You snap back automatically, and a huge argument occurs. Mind you, it doesn't have anything to do with your wife. You can't control your state of mind and emotions. Multiply this by 300 million Americans, and this is our current state of awareness in our country today. You see, we were never taught about this in school, the mind-body connection. We were never taught that all our thoughts would either make us sick or make us healthy. We have no idea that our way of thinking leads to our diseases today. Did you know that the majority of diseases aren't caused by your genetic makeup? Most people think they are. Yet scientists say only 2% of diseases are caused by your genetics. The rest is caused by your environment. It's caused by stress. It's living day by day in a life of stress. Imagine you may be a super athlete and try to take care of your body. You do everything external to the T. Yet, if you aren't aware of your thoughts and change them, your life is still in constant stress. I wrote an article called Your Body is a Drugstore. Read that to get a better understanding on this. Imagine we have thousands of consultants who will give you advice on how to improve your life, yet how many of them go back to the mind-body connection of how your thoughts trigger powerful chemicals. As I said, these chemicals will ultimately lead to disease. Not only that, but your emotional state is being driven by your thoughts. It's a classic circle of running the same tapes over and over again. The whole world is living in this state. We've been living like this for thousands of years. We are reactive beings. React in every situation, either positive or negative. What is the solution to this? We will discuss this next. How to use the quantum field too. What is the solution? In my last talk, I wrote about our current conditions. For the average person, it might seem normal. What is the solution? This is the current state of affairs. I can't do anything about it. We are saying, yes, you can. What is the future for humanity? Did you know that disease can't live in the quantum field? Did you know that man will evolve into being a creature filled with light and have a physical body? Imagine the universe's vast storehouse of chemicals exists inside. It can't be released until one starts changing their thoughts and actions. Negative emotions are obsolete. They have not served us in any way. We have fought for thousands of years. We still continue to fight. Without genuine kindness for all, the world will continue into this downward spiral. Your mind and body is one. As you know that for every negative thought you have, over 1,500 different chemicals gets released into your bloodstream. Did you know that for every positive thought you have, over 1,500 positive chemicals gets released into your bloodstream? By being aware of the quantum field in your daily life, what begins to transform and change. We are on the cutting edge of transformation. Did you know the human body is wired to live for 900 years? You may scoff at that and say, that's ridiculous. Yet some trees live to be around 3,000 years. The majority of humanity is living in intense stress. The majority die way before they are wired for. I have a friend who said he will die when I'm 88 years old. He will die when he is 88 years old. Imagine, we have no idea of the power of the mind. We think we are helpless and disease just manifests out of the blue. Yet we create our own diseases by our lifestyle, thoughts, and actions. We are oblivious to playing the same tapes over and over. Baby steps are needed. 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. This is how humanity and the universe learns. This is a learning experience. The entire universe takes baby steps. Yes, there are certain events which seem to occur in seconds. Look at a volcano blowing. It seems like it just explodes, but it might have been simmering for hundreds of years. What has this got to do with me? Everything. Imagine you are hardwired for this experience. The car is sitting in your garage gathering dust. It was meant for you to drive down the freeway of life. Yet the majority of people don't even know that the car exists inside. We have been raised to only focus on the external. Society says only the artists, musicians, and mystics dive deep into their hearts. They were born that way. Yet we all have that capability. We are skimming the surface on the ocean of life and think, that is reality. The mystics have said there's an infinite ocean that lies inside of you. They didn't have the name quantum field during their days, yet it's all one and the same. Can you imagine a world where mankind is truly kind to each other? We could easily solve the world's problems. How would you like a world where negative thoughts and emotions don't exist? Yes, you may laugh. Imagine there are civilizations that went through the same path of going from darkness to light. No civilizations get a free ride, yet they truly transform. They went from war to a state of living in the quantum field. This is our destination. Look, it's not going to happen overnight. Many people say it takes over 1 million years. Fortunately, millions of people are waking up from their slumber. Our life is about to change in ways that we can't even conceive. Many incredible scientific discoveries will come along the way. The more the world embraces the quantum world, there are an infinite amount of discoveries to come. You see, humanity is like a tuning fork. It vibrates at the frequency of human consciousness. We have been in a state of darkness and chaos for thousands of years. This is about to change. Personal empowerment is gaining momentum. When people understand the principles that they can change, and then science helps humanity to take practical steps to change. For example, I truly didn't understand that thoughts produce chemicals directly into the bloodstream. Just this one discovery alone changed my life. Mind you, I've been meditating for many moons. I really didn't pay attention to my thoughts, yet now I try to monitor my thoughts, which leads to monitor my emotions, which leads to monitor my actions. This is quite different from people who tweet which comes to their mind. Here are some simple steps which have helped me. Try to meditate every day. Even if it's 5 minutes, just follow your breath. I know it sounds too simple. Focus on your breath during your daily activities. Why? Just do it for a year, and then you tell me. Monitor your words that you speak. If it is not kind, don't say it. Pay attention towards your heart. Have gratitude that you are alive. The heart contains the incredible emotions of love, kindness, mercy, and compassion. This is your true state. I could go on for a long time about the heart. Look at the various research on heart coherence. Just this alone blows my mind. Learn how to be aware of the negative emotions that are stored into your body. There are many different techniques out there. Find out which matches your needs. You can learn how to reprogram your old tapes. Read the latest fusion between science and mystics, who will bring you to the understanding this is a practical path. Learn to be in harmony with nature. Look at the 4 seasons for an example. Nature can truly teach us if we ask. Your ancestors are always there. They have never left you. As I read about a week ago, they just moved into the next room, into the mansion of life. As we get older, you might understand how this would help us grieve in a healthy way. We might even learn how to knock on their door. You see, the quantum field contains all. Get enough sleep. Your body truly needs sleep to repair itself. Scientists have found that athletes who get extra sleep recover much quicker and are less prone to injuries. The less sleep you get, the more prone to injuries. This even goes with us everyday folks. Your body and mind is your friend. Treat it that way. Many of the world's diseases could have been prevented. Mankind lives mostly from old tapes. Learn to reprogram yourself. I've been a software engineer for over 35 years. I've learned to reprogram myself for many years. Health is your greatest wealth. If you are a billionaire and you are sick, you can't quite enjoy it. Take care of yourself. Take care of your mind, body, and soul. Remember, God is your co-pilot. He will not drive your car for you. It's only by your will, yet God is there to help you on this journey in life. Only you can open the inner car door. Be kind to yourself. Laugh at life. We all make daily mistakes. Learn from them. Some mistakes may take thousands of tries. Just laugh if you fall to the ground. Dust yourself off and stand up and continue along on your journey. Life will always throw us curveballs. Someday we will be able to hit the ball out of the park. We will then proceed to the next video game level. You see, we are always in a state of evolving. Be kind to the world around you. Smile and be considerate of others. Listen from your heart for those who are in pain. I mean, truly listen. Don't think, what am I going to say next? When you pray to God, does He think, what am I going to say? Or does He truly listen? Learn how to cultivate to become the mind of God. Mind you, in this present moment, that might seem outlandish, yet try to think like God. Monitor your thoughts to be in alignment with God. God truly thinks outside of the box. Learn how to cultivate to become the heart of God. Same thing, this sounds outlandish. Even if you gathered one drop from the heart of God, your life will totally transform. Remember, what you pay attention to, what becomes. This is a practical path. You don't have to renounce anything. Well, maybe. You just let go of the garbage that's weighing you down. So take these ideas. Some may work for you, while others won't. The goal is for you to take practical steps on this journey of life. Be aware of the actions you take. The world around you will enjoy being around you. Basic human decency. Yesterday, I found this incredible post on Facebook. The caption said the following: "You know what I like to see go viral? Basic human decency." I got to thinking about that. Human decency is desperately needed in the world today. So many people are flaming each other. Our nation is divided. One group hates the other group. One group thinks the other group is pure evil. We call each other names. We mock each other. This is so common in the world today. We think over time this is our true nature. We think it's impossible to change this, so we just continue our old ways. We don't see the harmful effects it has on human consciousness. We don't see and feel the collective human consciousness, so it's not our problem. Yet it is. The world can't change without you. I hope someday this phrase will go viral. I hope that someday we all make this a mission in our life. The world would totally transform if each and every one of us took this to heart. January 1st, 2020. Gathering Wisdom. Happy New Year! Today is a brand new year and decade. What an incredible year this has been. I've learned so much this past year. Here are some of the highlights. Signposts of God all around us. The more we pay attention to them, the clearer we see them in our life. Even inside of the human body, these signposts exist. This past year, I spent a considerable amount of time concentrating on my chakras or energy centers. This has opened up a part of me that I've never known. I first learned about the chakra systems when I was 18 years old. It was very esoteric for me. Fast forward 48 years, they are part of my life. We are indeed hardwired to discover our true nature. We are born with the hardware and software to discover the quantum field. When I was 18 years old, I took my first yoga class. I learned a simple technique to relax the entire body. At that time, I really didn't see the significance of doing this. This past year, I've been focusing on the mind and body connection. There's a demarcation point. There's no demarcation point between the two. You can't separate the two. Learning how to relax the muscles helps to weed out our precious garden. We have rocks, boulders, and weeds. that must be removed from our subconscious. I'm learning how to reprogram my subconscious. Over 90% of our actions are dictated by the subconscious. We are reactive beings. Mind you, this isn't our true state. Yet by the time we are 7 years old, our mental foundation is set up. All the good, bad, and ugly is formed into our subconscious. Currently, millions of people are learning how to tend their inner garden. They're taking responsibility for themselves and the collective unconscious of mankind. Note, by doing this, we change the collective unconscious from darkness to light. The more people wake up, the faster this will change. Darkness is the absence of light. When a person discovers the light within, the darkness slowly disappears. We are at a point in history where darkness knows it's a losing battle. It has no place to hide. Just look at the chaos in this world today. Need I say more? This is the greatest true science fiction movie. Yet, it's real. Mystics and science are finally seeing eye to eye. Science has mapped out the various states of brainwave frequencies. They know the effects of positive and negative thoughts. Each thought has a corresponding chemical. A negative thought produces over 1,500 different chemicals into the bloodstream. As Buddha said, by being angry, you are drinking your own poison. Science is learning that disease can't live in the light. Slowly, humanity is learning this. We have all the necessary chemicals inside to heal diseases. It's by our own thoughts alone and our consciousness can we learn to be our own chemists. Presently, we are oblivious to our thoughts and actions. We live our lives being reactive. We haven't learned how to live in the center of the hurricane. I'm learning how to perceive that when I see faults in others, they exist inside of me. You can't change anybody, but you can change yourself. Mind you, this is like peeling an onion. There are so many layers, so be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up. This is the video game of life, and it's real. We'll always learn on this journey in life. There is no final destination. The universe is constantly learning and growing. I'm learning how to ask questions and ask for help in my life. We are never alone, yet we think we are. Our ancestors live inside of us. The entire universe exists inside. For me, the more I pay attention to this fact, the more help and advice I receive. Remember, it's by your own will that is keeping you from discovering your true nature. Your will can be conscious or subconscious. It's up to you. The quantum field does not judge you, yet you judge yourself. It's only when you start asking questions and really want to change for the better. Mind you, this is the most practical thing you can do. It involves each and every moment of your life. When a person plays this video game with the same determination as a teenager playing his game, you are on your way to self-discovery. These are just a few things I learned. And each and every day, we have the opportunity to learn and grow. We are always fine-tuning ourselves. January 4th, 2020. Tricks of the trade. A person who loves video games puts his whole mind, body, and soul playing the game. He is totally concentrated on playing the game. You could say he has extended awareness. In this video game of life, we need to play this game with the same extended awareness. We must live in the present moment. A wise man focuses on the power behind the breath, moment by moment. Mind you, it could take your entire life to master this. Note that just 1 second of doing this could help you throughout the day. Behind your breath lies the universe. The same force that is keeping you alive is the same force keeping the universe alive. Just like a video game, one must monitor one's thoughts, emotions, and actions. When we have negative thoughts and emotions, we are living our life in the past. We are living our lives in a reactive mode. Literally, we are drinking our own poison. Buddha was absolutely correct when he said this over 2,500 years ago. The modern day scientist has had hundreds of experiments proving this. Modern day man lives in constant stress. Stress is responsible for all diseases. The disease occurs when the mind and body are not at ease. I believe that common sense is uncommon. We don't see the thread of love tying us all together. Consequently, we are divided in so many ways. Just look at our politics today. Both sides are angry and don't know how to compromise. True wisdom comes from the quantum field. As I said hundreds of times before, signposts are all around, yet the majority of humanity is oblivious to them. Meditation is the key to open the door within. Personally, I think whatever meditation you use will work for you. The goal is to close your eyes and go within. By closing your eyes, you're shutting down your analytical brain. Your awareness is going from the external to the internal. When one learns how to do this, one begins to see how powerful this is. One begins to train himself to live in the center of the hurricane. Most of humanity lives in the swirling winds of the mind. We are like leaves blowing in the wind. This path is extremely practical. You might say it's not even a path. The quantum field exists beyond time and space. It's a paradox. It exists everywhere, yet it is hidden from us. This is why I call it a video game. One goes from darkness to light. At each level, we learn and grow along the way. If our subconscious is responsible for 95% of our actions, and only 5% is conscious, that's a grim picture. No wonder we constantly live in the past. We're playing the same tapes over and over again. Yet we go on wearing blinders and thinking everything is alright. My advice is learn how to reprogram your subconscious. In the last 25 years, numerous tools have been provided to assist in this manner. Do some research. One piece of advice is to learn about how to focus on the energy centers within. As I said, we are hardwired and have the software to discover our true nature. To be honest, we are oblivious of these energy centers. When one begins to focus on them, all sorts of incredible things start to happen. The entire human body and mind is an expression of these energy centers. You wouldn't be alive today if these energy centers shut down. In fact, when these energy centers shut down, death is only a breath away. We were born to have a direct connection to the universe. Does that excite you, or is this some boring topic? Nobody is trying to twist your arms. Only you can discover the jewel within you. February 1st, 2020. The wondrous human body. Did you know that we are all master chemists? Just think. We have our thoughts and emotions. We create our current state of awareness. Most of the time, we play the same tapes over and over again. Yet, we are oblivious to that fact. We only see around 1% of a life spectrum. Can you imagine? The ancient ones have talked about the chakra systems for thousands of years. Recently, in the last 20 years or so, many new scientific devices have been invented where we can see these energetic fields. Did you know that your chakras display signs of disease before they manifest in a human body? I find that quite interesting. The more you pay attention to something, the more it pays attention to you. For the past few months, I've been paying attention to my chakras. There's not one function in the human body that is not affected by the chakra system. By scanning and paying attention, one develops over time a communication system between the mind, body, and soul. It's beyond words, but intuition might be the correct word. Quite frankly, intuition was never taught in schools. I find it one of the keys to my life. My brother John posted this on Facebook recently. Mind you, this is not his quote. If you don't pick a day to relax your body will pick it for you. How true that is. I've been fortunate that I have, since I was young, I listened to my body. For example, yesterday, I felt I was coming down with a major cold. My body was giving me signals. So I went to bed 3 hours earlier. I woke up just fine. The body speaks to us, yet we are oblivious. We pay so much attention to performing external actions that we never realize that we are human beings. I emphasize beings. This is my main theme in almost everything I write. We are missing out on so much what life has to offer. We live our lives in such a mundane existence. The entire universe lies inside of you. What can be grander than that? February 8th, 2020. Heavy boulders. We all carry heavy boulders in our life. Every single one of us does. Our subconscious contains the good, the bad, and the ugly from the time we are born to around 7 years old. This is when it gets formed. Nobody gets a free ride, yet for thousands of years, man stuffs his emotions. We don't talk about it. When Michael Phelps opened up his own fight with depression, it left many of us grateful he spoke up. You see, in our society, it's almost a taboo to talk about mental health. Nobody wants to hear, "You're weak if you do." In my eyes, to talk about mental health issues is the greatest things we can do to help our world. It affects every one of us. Scientists know that we play the same tapes over and over again. Our subconsciousness is running the show. 95% of our actions come from the subconscious, and only 5% comes from our conscious mind. Just think, in order to change, one must rewire the brain and body with new software and hardware. We must learn how to consciously cut the wiring from the past and rewire it with the new. I'm putting this in simple terms. We need to be aware of each and every moment. The masters of the Far East have said for thousands of years the following: the hardest thing to master in the universe is your mind. Yet humanity really doesn't seem to be aware of this. We fight with each other, yell at each other, we're angry with each other, we call names to each other. We have fought wars for thousands of years. I don't call that a healthy state of mind. Even if your life is incredible, there's always room for growth. Millions of people are waking up from their slumber. They are doing inner house cleaning. We all have an inner house that we need to clean. Most of us simply text on the freeway of life and ignore it. We don't place any importance on it. We just skip the surface. Maybe we just don't want to know. Imagine every day we take our showers or baths. We don't get freaked out. Most of us love it. I love to feel the warmth of the water. It soothes the mind and body. In the same way, diving into the silence balances the mind, body, and soul. We learn how to let go of our inner boulders. At times it's painful. At times it's super easy. Remember, this is a journey. The journey has its ups and downs. Yet by daily focusing on the silent, we are conscious of moving through levels in the video game of life. We are taking responsibility for our own inner game. This, in essence, it helps in putting together our piece of the puzzle. Everyone is a piece of the puzzle. Yes, even your so-called enemy. In reality, we are all one and the same. There are billions of problems to be solved on our precious planet. Each one of us holds the key. We must learn how to overcome all the negative emotions we have. We must learn how to be kind again. Currently, in our society, we are so off the mark, it seems like learning the truth and evidence doesn't seem to matter anymore. I have so much hope for the future. Granted, it's going to take time. The universe is cheering us on. We are not alone. You are the universe. You just don't know it. February 23rd, 2020. Dance with me. I love afternoon naps. I remember as a kid, my grandparents would take afternoon naps. As a kid, I couldn't relate at all, and now I totally relate. Did you know that the universe talks to you during your sleep? Not with words, but in a way we can't comprehend. Imagine, as a soul, you were never created, nor will you ever be destroyed. You are eternal, yet we are texting and are completely oblivious to the miracles of life. Did you know that the universe has a sense of humor? Where do you think humor comes from? During my nap, the universe came and talked to me. Let's do the waltz together. Come dance with me. Imagine the entire universe dancing in spiraling delight. It is conscious and aware. This is our true nature. We're can't describe the magnificence. Do you know, the more you pay attention to something, the more it pays attention to you. When I first started to meditate, it took hours just to break through. Over the years, it's gotten so much easier. It seems like now the universe is meditating on me. Even saying this, I still have a lot of baggage to let go. One has to be humble on this journey. When I first started to meditate, I did it for myself. I wasn't spiritually mature. How could you when you start this conscious spiritual journey? Yet through the years, one gathers wisdom that we meditate to help humanity. It's as simple as that. We are all on the same boat. We either sink or swim. I said many times before that we are hardwired to discover our true essence. We have the software installed many moons ago. We are our own master chemists. Unfortunately, our subconscious is running the show. We play the same tapes over and over again. Some are good, and some are quite ugly. We are reactive beings. We were never taught the following in school. You are your own master chemist. You can control your thoughts and emotions. Yes, it takes time and effort. Remember, you are on a journey. You are here to discover your true nature. You are a piece of the puzzle. Why are we living in the pits? I saw this slogan on a wall at Buffalo University over 40 years ago. If life is a bowl of cherries, why are we all living in the pits? I say a lot that signposts of God are all around us. Yet do we have the eyes to see? In order to see, you must use your will and take simple actions. We have free will. The universe doesn't judge us or criticize us. We are great as humans to do that to each other. Yet we have free will. Where you place your attention on, you become. Imagine that the signposts are staring at you both inward and outward, yet our attention is somewhere else. Maybe we should use our will to be aware of the mysteries of life. Do we ever just spend time just being and doing nothing? Many people hate silence. I work out every day. This one trainer came up to me and we had a conversation. Somehow he told me that he hates to slow down and be silent. I have many friends who have the same state of being. We are so stressed out that our chemistry is totally out of balance. Did you know that living in the survival mode, you can never tap into your true nature? The modern day scientist has proven this. How can you go within and discover the joy inside when the faucet of adrenaline is constantly flowing? This is a common state for people today. That's why we're so stressed out. In this fight or flight condition, the immune system stops working. All systems shut down. You are in survival mode. Tomorrow, you're going to visit your in-laws, and your mind and emotions are already freaking out. Mind you, this isn't tomorrow, but the mind doesn't know the difference in time. You are freaking out just by thinking about it. If you want to see the signposts, you must become aware. You must learn how to reprogram yourself. Otherwise, you will play the same tapes over and over again until you die. February 29th, 2020. Observer. Yesterday, I wrote about being an observer. My dear friend Chris Parker gave this comment on Facebook.
The thing that gets me is that thought doesn't have the ability to be self-reflective in its own action. I.e., we can't think ourselves thinking as we are thinking. It can't truly serve as a conscious mirror of the moment. We reflect on whatever has gone by or is yet to come. It lives in the past and the future. It is born of the parents' observation and meaning that comes hand in hand with the twin sister of emotion. Living with such an artist to make peace in the house, it's not easy when both of the twins are so demanding. Between the inside and the outside, where exactly does meditation lie? Is it connected to nothing or everything? Why should peace and perception only be found in silence? Here's my response. Everything you say is true. Thought doesn't have the ability to be self-reflective in its own action, i.e., we can't think about ourselves thinking. Yes, we play the same mental and emotional tapes over and over again. They are a part of our neural network. Each time we play them, we enhance the network. That is quite the predicament. Yes, we have two demanding twins. One is thought and the other is emotion. We have quite the dilemma. We're only 5% conscious while our 95% subconscious is running the show. Before I started to meditate, to be honest, I didn't have any insight at all. We have both been meditating for many years. I'm no way an expert. Every day I learn how to fine-tune the guitar of life. I'm trying to use being as an observer in my life. At this stage, I'm stumbling more than succeeding, yet I still continue. When I was young, my parents gave my brother and me our first bicycles. My brother John took off, rode down the block. It took me over a month. My parents wondered if I would ever learn how to ride a bike. I learned that with patience I could learn anything. Today my wife says, "You're so lucky that you learn things so easily." I just smile. To discover our true nature is the most difficult thing to do. I can see why in the East they have the expression, "To conquer your mind is the most difficult thing to do." Presently, the odds are stacked against us. You and I have been on this conscious path for many years. Personally, I have never had so much hope. I'm learning that trying to be in a state of meditation, no matter what I'm doing, is a key. What does this do for me? It allows me to observe my thoughts and emotions. That is a major key. If someone says something to me that makes me angry, and I play the same tapes from the past, I have two choices. One is to express my anger. I put gasoline on the fire. Two, I realize that life is a video game. A wise man will simply smile. He has nothing to prove. When a person does this slowly, a person is cutting up the old tapes. We go from being reactive to a state of being a co-creator in our lives. I prefer to live in the center of the hurricane instead of the mighty winds of the mind. It's not easy. Life throws us curveballs. We learn from our mistakes. In baseball, a hitter is considered great if he has a .333 percentage at bat. That's 1 out of every 3 times he gets on base. Mind you, he gets paid quite handsomely for doing this. Every day, life throws us curveballs. Many times I hit the ball out of the park. Many times I strike out. Both of us are learning and growing along the way. Just think when we first started to learn how to meditate and do yoga, I was considered an outcast by many of my friends. Years later, my mom and her friend took the same yoga class from the same teacher. Yoga is now everywhere. Today, humanity is waking up. New tools are being discovered. We are learning how to tune this guitar of life. I'm excited for the future of mankind. Maybe we will become a kind man. Personally, I think there's no one way. We are all wired up differently. What works for me, maybe it won't work for you. I'm glad that we can share information together and sort out what is good for us. Thanks for the comments. They are simply, for me, at the same time, quite profound that we can solve this riddle of life. Your last question: why should peace and perception only be found in silence? In silence contains all the mysteries of life. It is as simple as that. April 19th, 2020. Different kinds of class. Recently, I'm posting on Facebook 2 incredible journeys. One is a year-long Kabbalah class I took in 2001. The other is my recent fascination with the Tao. A few months ago, I was going through my boxes when I stumbled upon the diaries I did for the Kabbalah class. It was quite extensive. To be honest, I forgot the depth of the tree of life. I got this brainstorming idea to put into an audio book. Mind you, it needs a lot of editing. Google has a voice to text which I use. It's probably about 80% accurate. It has some funky replacement of words. At times, it replaces a word with another word. Anyway, I got the project up and running, and one by one, I placed it on Facebook. I have about 206 different diary entries. During this global shutdown, I just finished my audio book of the Tao Te Ching. You may think they have nothing in common, yet they have so much in common. Yet they are 2 different cloths, but there is a thread of love tying them together. I've been a long-time student of Brendan Rawat for almost 50 years. His teachings are in total alignment with the Kabbalah and the Tao. Here's the common denominator that I see. Silence is the key. Behind your breath lies the universe. You are the universe. You just don't know. There's a huge difference between a state of being and a state of constantly doing. Currently, the majority of mankind are human doers. We are on a treadmill, but not going anywhere. We have lost touch of our true nature. By being in a state of beingness, one starts to realize his true nature. Proactive versus reactive. Currently, Mother Nature has sent us all to our rooms. There is a worldwide shutdown. Are we going to live in the center of the hurricane or the powerful winds of the mind? A reactive being is like leaves blowing in the wind. A proactive being lives in total calm no matter the outside situation. You can't control external events, but you can control how you react to them. Strive for harmony. A wise man continually fine-tunes the guitar of life. One takes action moment by moment to be in harmony with the mind, body, and soul. We must be conscious and aware of our actions. Boredom is a state of mind. How are you doing in isolation? If you are bored, ask yourself why. Your mindset for almost your entire life is based upon being busy. You have the opportunity to discover your true nature. Your mindset has to change to do so. Peace lies inside of you. The door is open. Some of my dear friends say there is no door. You just have to focus within. Peace lies inside of you. External events do not bring peace. I can guarantee you that when this shutdown is over, if you don't have peace now, you will have it when it's over. Be responsible. Take your life under control. You can create heaven or hell in your life. It's your choice. I can go on and on. The main thing is you are in your room. What are you going to do about it? Mother Nature wants us to learn some lessons. Otherwise, she wouldn't have a shutdown in the first place. We can make this world to be an incredible place to live. It's our choice. Mother Nature is saying, stop throwing garbage in the living room. I don't need you, but you need me.
September 22nd, 2022. Karma. This was an absolutely incredible session on karma. It was probably the most simplest and practical solution that I've ever heard. She was amazing in her presentation. Karma has always been somewhat of a mystery to me. I never knew exactly what it was and the mechanics of how it operated. Yes, I know the theory: for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. I know about good karma and bad karma. But the process to stop karma in its tracks and eliminate karma is another subject altogether. Mind you, I've been studying this for over 50 years now. This presentation gave me more incredible insight into karma and how it works. The teacher gave a great analogy. Suppose you have a ball that you are bouncing. Imagine every action you take, you are bouncing the ball. You take an action and you bounce the ball. Automatically, whether you like it or not, the ball will bounce back. That statement alone is incredible, that you are responsible for the bouncing of the ball. Nobody else bounces your ball. She goes on and says that the bouncing of the ball has been occurring for thousands of years. We are on a treadmill that isn't going anywhere. To stop this, she simply said, stop bouncing the ball. When one stops bouncing the ball doesn't react. When you stop bouncing the ball, it will take a very short time for the ball just to sit on the ground and do nothing. I also like the fact that she said karma is not conscious and aware. If it was, we would be in serious trouble because we would have a God that judges us for every action we take. Fortunately, karma, the ball, is not awake, and it's just simply a force of the universe that can be overcome in one's life. The goal is to stop bouncing the ball, at the same time be in a state of self-realization within. I give the analogy of being in the center of a hurricane. Humanity is living like leaves blowing in the wind. Karma is chains that binds us. It doesn't matter if the chains are made of gold or some simple mental material. Either way, the chain will bind us. The more one stops bouncing the ball, the greater the realizations will be. one will live in the center of the hurricane and understand the great mysteries of life. When one learns to live in the soul, one truly becomes a human being. We were never taught this in our schools. Maybe the Janes have, but we most definitely didn't learn that. This course has made me more subtle in my practice. It truly is fine-tuning the guitar of life. Every action we take, karma has taken place, and yet we are oblivious to it. We strive for happiness in our life. We think a good job, a mansion, and a yacht are the secrets to a good life. We never realize that even by acquiring these, we still have golden chains bound to our souls. Ultimately, that will never make us happy. I'm quite impressed by the Jains who discovered this thousands of years ago. Can you imagine coming up with this great realization and then put it into such sublime words? Future generations could use the roadmap for their own liberation. I find that extremely daunting and incredible to see. We can learn from the wise men of the past, and fortunately, we are so blinded that we truly can't believe something like this even exists. Every day we moan and groan about the circumstances in our life. We don't realize that we are responsible for what comes our way. Curveballs will be thrown at you. That is the fact of life. Everything morphs and changes. I mean, everything. When one understands that life is like a merry-go-round, it goes round and round and round. When a person gets tired of this ride, he wants to get off the ride. The only way to get off this ride is to press the red button inside of you and stop the merry-go-round inside of you. When one leaves the merry-go-round, one lives in his true essence. You are the universe and you just don't know it. We live our lives thinking this is the ultimate reality. We are merely skimming the surface of the ocean of life. This may seem like an esoteric subject, which it isn't. This is the basic foundation of your life. We're talking about you and how you can understand your true nature. The wise men of old have studied this for thousands of years. They have great instruction manuals for you to read and implement in your life. What good is a driver's manual if you never drive your car? You have a car that's been sitting in your inner garage. The garage door is closed. The car is full of cobwebs and spider webs. One may have faint glimpses of the car that exists inside. The goal of human life is to take that car out for a spin on the freeway of life. You were meant to drive that precious car. That car is your true existence. That freedom that you seek, that happiness that you seek, that joy that you seek, it all lies inside of you. That car is who you truly are. One has become so identified externally that we have forgotten our true nature. I would highly advise, if you want to have a happy life, to try this in your life. Maybe the next time some instance comes your way and you could get angry about the situation, just hesitate and don't react at all. Practice that over and over again. You will see the situation no longer bothers you at all. In fact, by not responding at all, you remain calm. Calmness is your true nature. Getting flustered and angry is not your true nature. Even if something good comes your way, do the same thing. You will see that you are then driven by your emotions and mind. When you experience positive emotions, life is good. When you experience negative emotions, life is a drag and a burden. We live our entire lives this way. We blame others for our mistakes. We think that we have done something wrong. We think other people's lives are better than ours. We have all these different feelings about how life is treating us. We could get off on this bandwagon and experience life as it truly is. Life is absolutely incredible. Life is full of joy, love, and creativity. We should be like a surfer taken off on the wave of a lifetime. One is in the zone. One is not thinking about making the wave or wiping out. A surfer is in the flow with the wave of life and becomes one with it. He knows he doesn't have to do fancy tricks or try to outmaneuver the wave. He doesn't get into the contest of life and see who's the better surfer. I lost this heat by less than 1 point. He doesn't get into the competition side of surfing. Surfing is an art and allows one to be in harmony with the universe and nature. We are all surfers. That wave exists inside of you. You can learn how to surf the wave and be in clarity every moment in your life. One who learns how not to react to any given situation is truly a wise man. A wise man simply smiles at life. It has nothing to say or prove. Unfortunately, we have plenty to say and prove. If someone doesn't think the way we do, well, let them have it. We will tell them they're wrong and I am right. My religion is better than your religion. My ideas are better than your ideas. Wars have been started this way. When one lives in the scattered winds of the mind, chaos occurs. We have seen this going on for thousands of years with no end in sight. To make this world a better place, you must make your inner world a better place. For peace on earth to occur, you must establish peace inside of you. There is a battle going on inside of you. The mind is constantly biting you. It's like a mosquito bite that gets agitated over and over again. At times the mosquito bites seems to go away, and then, for some unknown reason, they start biting you again. You itch and can't quite find out how to stop the itching. I remember for around 20 years, even when I first started meditating, my stomach was never truly settled. It always had a tinge of anxiousness to it. Meditation makes one aware of your inner feelings. Yet one day I woke up and it never came back again. Meditation and contemplation is the way to remove issues that have been hiding inside of us. Each one of us has different issues to deal with. Each one of us has different karmas that affect us. For your own mental happiness, I hope maybe you might take this to heart. You might see that externally, if I paid focus only to that, I will not change for the better. I will continue to go on this merry-go-round. Granted, you may obtain all the goals that you want externally. You may have all the money in the world. You may be able to travel whenever you want, and for as long as you want. But tell me, Does that make you truly satisfied? Only a wise man who has conquered his mind will be truly satisfied. The only one who discovers how to live in the center of the hurricane is satisfied. You can own the entire world, yet you are still living like leaves blowing in the wind. Alexander the Great conquered much of the world, yet he was completely unsatisfied. He even said, "I come into this world empty-handed, and I'll leave on my deathbed empty-handed." I say the spiritual path is the most practical path. One must have his feet on the ground and his head in heaven. We could go on forever bouncing the ball of karma. We've been doing this for eons as it is. We have the opportunity for this message to truly sink in, and at the same time to go in one ear and out the other. The mind can say, "You don't want this. You like life as it is, and you don't want to change at all." Well, that's okay. We're not here to change you. You must change yourself. All we're doing is saying there is a road that you can travel on inside of you. You are born a traveler. Currently, you are a wanderer. A wanderer that doesn't even know that he has a true home. We wander aimlessly in this world. We are searching for something external, and all we have to do is look inside for the answer. It's as simple as that. Somehow we think the spiritual life is for those who have high intelligence. My intelligence is average. I couldn't even answer one single question during this Jane lecture series. But did that stop me? No, it didn't. I knew the next day when I got up, if I went over the material and wrote what I discovered, I would understand what they were talking about. This path is a path meant to be pondered over. One must contemplate and ponder over life to understand life. The chains have been ours for thousands of years. Even in my early days of meditation, I didn't understand the true meaning of pondering. I don't understand the importance of why one should ponder. I see these young, incredible kids presenting short introductions to each class. Some are only 10 years old and already have great wisdom. You are the company that you keep. These kids have incredible mentors like their parents and grandparents. They have their aunts and uncles and friends. When I was in India, I heard many stories in which they said, "You are the company that you keep." If you keep company with a band of people that love to steal items from others, then you will become a thief. We emulate our external surroundings. I grew up in Newport Beach, California, and the culture around me was high class and refined. The people there are great, and I loved growing up. I still have many of my friends today. Yet somehow I knew that is something inside of me that I could not tap into externally. I must admit, I'm not conventional at all. At times I am an outcast. I bucked the system. I knew that no matter how incredible in my life was up to that point, there is something inside of me that was so much more than I can ever imagine. I knew there were 5 senses. We lived that way our entire lives. Yet I knew we had 5 internal senses. These are doorways to the soul. Going back to the bouncing ball, the deeper one understands his true nature, the easier it will be to stop bouncing the ball. Even if one doesn't have a great meditation practice, one can learn to consciously stop the urge to react. Yes, This will take practice. Rome was not built in a day. It must go from your conscious to your subconscious. Currently, 95% of your subconscious is running the show. Yet, you can overcome this by your will. They say a wise man sets his mind in motion by his will, not the other way around. We live our lives with the mind commanding us what to do. We are not in command of our minds. That is a major difference. The Jains are incredible psychologists, and we are barely skimming the surface. The majority of our minds are unclear and experience so much internal stress and chaos. We had not been trained on how to have a healthy mind. Yet unfortunately, we think there's nothing wrong with me. I love my lifestyle and what I can do. Look at my life. No matter how much glamour and glitter one has, one must understand that the jewel exists inside of you. There's a video game going on. You are part of this game. There's an infinite amount of levels to go through. For thousands of years, we've just been on level 0. This is the most basic level where mankind fights with one another. We have slogans like the 80s where Wall Street would say, greed is good. We have mass shootings at schools. We refuse to have gun laws because it takes away our freedom. I could go on and on. We are responsible for the world externally. We can make this world a better place. A wise man understands that he can stop karma in his tracks. By doing so, he fulfills his piece of the puzzle in life. You can do this if you like. Our world would be in a better place if we all simply did this in each and every moment of our lives. Our lives would be so much richer and grander than the current state of existence. We can truly solve all the world's problems. Can you imagine if you discovered your true secret? The universe could provide answers to all our problems in life. We would not have junk food industry, which is causing disaster in our bodies all around the world. I find it amusing that they know their food makes people addicted, and yet they still do it because it makes them great wealth. No wonder they call this the age of darkness. Common sense is uncommon. Going back to karma again, I would like to thank the teacher for presenting such an awesome subject in a way that I could truly understand. She made it so practical at the same time I could understand what I can do practically to stop karma in my tracks. I apologize to anyone if I said anything that may contain misinformation. Closing. There has been an incredible amount of wisdom presented in this book. Quite frankly, the wisdom is still virtually unknown upon society today. We are in charge of our own chemistry sets. Unfortunately, we didn't even know we have one. Every single day, we get stressed out by life. We think happiness can be attained in this world. There are many people who think that happiness exists only on the weekend. When 6 o'clock Monday morning comes, they have a hard time getting out of bed. Many heart attacks occur at 6 o'clock in the morning. This life is a grand adventure. These are tricks of the trade that have been presented to you. Nobody can convince you. Nobody is trying to convert you. You are the universe. and you just don't know it. Ask any quantum scientist, they will tell you the same.